Hi, I'm Anna Nicolatis Darden, and this is Simple Confident Cooking. Thank you so much for joining me today, and Didier for being my assistant. Thank you, and my gorgeous studio audience and friends and family at home watching. Thank you. Please, if you video chat in, then I can see you and love to talk to you. And today we're going to talk about kitchen essentials. So these are, in my opinion, some of the really most important things to have in your kitchen, and why quality ingredients matter, why quality cooking utensils and tools make a big difference with your kitchen. So let's get started.
Yeah, you have a lot of things here on the table.
I do. Yeah. And here's one cool thing about me is that this is an independent show, ToutSuite, and I'm independent, and so none of this is sponsored. These are things that I actually love and use at home. And of course, I love some of these products more than others, so if you want to sponsor me, I'm not going to complain, but they are wonderful things. Okay, so I think when it comes to tools in your kitchen, there's just a few that you absolutely have to have. I know you cook a lot, so...
kind of.
Kind of, sure. I think the first really important thing is a really good kitchen knife.
Right.
I think this is a Henkel's, and it's about an 8-inch chef knife. And so what's great about this knife is you can do just about everything. It's your workhorse. Some things that you have in your kitchen, they're like my KitchenAid. It was a gift from my husband at Christmas. I love it. I'm so glad to have it. I am, yes. But the thing about it is that you can do all of that with a knife. It takes a little bit longer, but if you have a really great knife to work with, you can do it.
Yeah,
and
sure.
The trick is that you want a really good stainless steel blade, and you know, there's this, it'll even cut you if you're trying too hard, if it's a dull knife, if it's not, you don't have a really nice sharp edge on it.
That's what I like. Mine is this.
Show me yours. Yeah, that's a serious knife. That's a good one. That's a good knife.
That's a knife.
I love it.
Yeah, but no, I love those. I do have those. You know, this is 8-inch.
Yes, I think it's an 8-inch blade.
Yeah. That's really good. What do you do to maintain those?
I have, this is actually one of my favorite ones. It's an easy one if you're not great at sharpening your knives. And it sits right on the counter, and all you do is go straight through a couple times on the coarse end, a couple times on the fine end.
And you straight. Straight
ahead.
Yeah, okay.
And then you have a really great, quite sharp knife.
Oh, yeah.
You can take them to professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sharp.
Yeah, sharp, yeah, definitely.
And this is kind of a traditional sharpener. Yeah. And in this case, you would go kind of along the edge of it this way. And this one, to me, is a little bit easier to make mistakes with. If you don't have the right angle, you can kind of mess up your knife. That's why I kind of like this one's a kind of an easy one to not make a mess with. And a lot of the professionals will use a block like this. You can see this one is well used.
That's what I like.
And they would go along the knife this way.
But this, you use water with that, no?
Yes.
Yeah, wet stone. Right.
Yes, wet stone.
Yeah.
So that's those are 3 different ways to do it.
So this you can buy this where, like things like Target or things like.
I got this one at a kitchen shop in Sonoma, but Target would have it probably. Maybe not Target, but for sure you could find it somewhere like a Williams Sonoma type store would have that for sure.
That's about like what, $30?
40? Yeah, about $30.
This is really good too, but you have to be more specialized type of store, right?
Definitely more specialized, and you have a much higher margin for error if you are not familiar with sharpening your knives. I would say for sure to start with something like this one, because it's really hard to go wrong as long as you have a really steady hand and just go straight.
Do you ever cut yourself?
I have, well, don't say it today, knock on wood. I haven't for a very long time, but I have for sure.
All right, so we went through the sharpening and all that.
And if you were going to pick a second knife, I would go with the paring knife. This is a small one. In fact, it can replace something like a vegetable peeler because it's such a, this is just a small, maybe 3-inch blade. And you can just do so much with those 2 knives. If you're going to make 2 knife investments, I would say it's these 2. This would also easily replace like a garlic press, which I love to have, but you don't need to have, because if you just use the side of your knife to squish your garlic head, that's going to accomplish exactly the same thing with one tool. I love to have these things in my kitchen, but I think a lot of people, for sure, if you went to college, you know, you just start accumulating things from the 99-cent store or Walmart whenever you're like, okay, I just need something to work with. That's totally fine.
But you do have to spend a little money though for a good knife.
Yes. And so when you start making those investments, that's exactly like, what do you want to start spending the money on? Yeah. Start with a good knife. This knife will cost you maybe $125. And certainly there are better knives on the market. There are worse knives on the market. For the money, I find this to be one that I really love. I grew up using it, and so this is probably my favorite.
How you wash those knives?
I just use water. I don't never put them in the dishwasher because things bang around in the dishwasher and it can chip your blade, which is something you absolutely want to protect as much as you can.
All right.
Yes. So if you were going to add 2 more knives to your collection, I would go next to a serrated one. It works really well for like breads, that sort of thing, or a carving. This is a boning knife, which works really good for fish and meat.
Boning knife.
That sort of thing.
I'm saying.
And it has a really thin blade, so sometimes I'll use it just whenever I'm working with something really precise where I just need to pick out. Pumpkin carving. Don't try this at home. It's dangerous.
What, pumpkin carving?
Pumpkin carving with a boning knife.
All right.
But I do it. Okay, so the next thing I would really recommend is to have a nice stock pot. This is a really small one, and it's an all-clad. What I love about it is that this is, it works. This is a pan that I use the very most at home. The really important thing about it is it has a really heavy bottom. If you feel the weight of this pan.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's really hefty, and that's going to help your sauces not to burn. It's going to help everything to be a lot more even in cooking. And this one pan, what's great is that it has this fabulous attachment that works as a steamer. So that helps you to maintain a lot of the
so you can put something
vitamins. Your vitamins, and that's exactly what I do.
Is that right?
Yeah, in your vitamins, in your like if you're doing asparagus or spinach or something, and the vibrant color. So it's a really fast way to cook, but also
obviously you cook for 2 only. That's small.
I have this size too.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I'm from a Greek family. My pans go up to about this big at home. And then I also use it as a double boiler just by using a little mixing bowl, and I'll stick it right here on the top. Sure. So if I'm making like melting chocolate or making like a custard or something like that, this works perfectly, and you can use it all with the same pan.
So what is the cost of this thing here? Those 2 here?
It was a wedding present.
Oh, okay. So,
I think it's around this pan would probably be around 150. If you keep an eye out for sales at like Williams-Sonoma or Macy's, you probably could get a nice deal and get kind of a larger set. I used other pans for a very long time. This was the top of my wish list, was to have really good pans to work with. And so that was about all I registered for, was my all-clad at my wedding.
That's cool.
So I love it. I use it every single day.
And for maintenance, pretty easy?
It's very easy, and they also come with warranties, so you can have like a lifetime warranty, and they tell you how to take care of your pans right in the instructions. And anyway, I love them, and I highly recommend, if you're going to make an investment to a pan, make an all-clad. Yes.
What size is that one?
This one I imagine is about a 6-quart size. I'm not really sure. 6 or 8. I'm trying to see if it says on the bottom. I think it's about a probably about the 6 to 8 quart size. Yeah.
I say 6.
6.
Yeah.
Okay,
6
I say 6 too. So.
I like that. That's pretty cool. Oh, I love these things. But this is a bitch to maintain, though, to take care of.
You just have to know what to do. It's not as hard as you think it is.
Well, you have to season it. You have like, when you buy new, I mean, this is like you have to season all that. This is a lot of work.
But it's much easier than you think. It's so if we this is a cast iron pan, and you can use so it'll cost you maybe $25 to buy. It's a super heavy duty. Like my husband says, makes good self-defense as well. And you can, so to season your pan when you first get it, you cover the whole thing with a thin coat of oil, and you'll put it into the oven, at about 450, 400 degrees for about an hour, and that's going to seal the pan. And it becomes its own non-stick surface, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So you can use it for like searing a steak, to frittatas, to.
But you could buy, like, you know, like if you go to a second-hand stores, you have those like available.
Yes.
They're already pre-seasoned and everything else. They're pretty cheap too.
Yes, very cheap. And the other thing, you'll see them rusting a lot. And how you can overcome that is with salt. So if you put like a coarse salt in here, and you can use like a paper towel or a cloth like this to kind of scrub that in there. The salt's going to break up the rust, and then you re-season it. So then you, after you clean it really well that way, you can put the oil back in, put it back in the oven, and start your sealing process again.
Do you use vinegar? Salt and vinegar? No.
Just oil and salt.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. No water. No soap. It sounds really scary, but the thing is once you have a really nice seasoning like this one, you can just wipe it right out with paper towel, a little bit of oil. If you have to use water on it, what you'll do is you'll put it onto the stove, onto your burner, and get the pan super hot so the pores actually open and evaporates all the liquid, and reseal it with a little bit of oil again.
What are your favorite things to cook with? I mean,
frittatas for breakfast.
What?
Frittatas.
Okay.
I do Spanish tortilla in here a lot.
On that thing?
Yeah, perfect. You layer all your potatoes, put the egg over.
Is it? For two?
No, it's for two, right? There's two. We cook
breakfast in bed.
I have this size too at home.
Yeah.
And searing a steak works really well.
Okay. Yeah.
I have definitely a bigger size at home, but that's a great pan to start with. And of course, if you're going to add another skillet to that, something like this with a sloped edge works really great for making sauces, and this is an all-clad again, and gravies, that sort of thing, and also for sauteing. Also, again, it has a really heavy bottom. This is all-clad. You can see I use it a lot.
Sure.
Yeah, but
it's something like you never scratch it. You never that's how you maintain that.
I use just soap and water pretty much.
Oh, really?
I like those sponges with the blue ones with the light bristles on the back. I don't like those silver ones because they scratch too bad.
All right.
They'll actually cut it, but I don't mind the seasoning. I just leave it alone. So that one's next. And you need a couple good mixing bowls. The great thing about a simple mixing bowl like this, usually come in a set, so you'll get 4 or 6 of them, and you can work them as serving bowls. You can use them for storage, that sort of thing. So they're a really great investment to make. And
going back to those here, what size do you recommend for people that start cooking, and what size, small sizes or bigger sizes, or?
I have this is the smallest size that I use, and so I'm usually cooking for 2 people at home. And the next size up for this is about this big, maybe about 12 inches, 14 inches across. This one is pretty good size if you're cooking for 2 or a small family. If you have a bigger family, you're going to want a bigger pan. Right. Yeah. I have a couple of different sizes, but this is the one I use probably the most frequently. Okay. Yes. So here's a cool trick.
All right.
Now, measuring spoons. Of course, they're things that you want to have. The thing is, I don't know if you've noticed this at when you go to these cute little kitchen stores and things, they always have like the ones with the ducks on them. They have all these different ones. They're all different sizes. If you're going to actually pour the liquid into them to measure them out, they're all different sizes. The most important thing is that you're using the same set, so they're consistent in size. Oh, okay. So that proportionally they're the same. So if you don't have measuring utensils, it actually works quite well if you're replacing a teaspoon for an actual teaspoon, a tablespoon for an actual tablespoon, or a kind of a regular sized cup for a cup of liquid.
So like a cup of that, this is a cup of that. No.
And it's a little bit, it comes to about
bigger.
here.
Yeah, okay.
But watch this, this is pretty cool. So if we do, now it's time for science experiments here. But check this out, if we did a tablespoon of liquid here, and then we move it into, we don't have this one here, we pour it into here, it's exactly the same size. Right. And so, I mean, it's going to depend on what you have to work with in your kitchen, but honestly, you can get away with not having a lot and just investing in the really important ones that are going to be really giving you great mileage in your kitchen. So A couple other things I'll talk about really quick. I love this. This is from Williams-Sonoma. This is a silicone spatula, and it can withhold heat up to like 600 degrees or something, 500.
Oh, shit.
I haven't burned one yet, and I've used them for a lot of different
it's
ways.
pretty thick. That's like I never saw those. I've some. Well, no, I mean I have some of.
Yeah.
I have some, but not like that. I mean, this is a different one to me.
I have about 4 of them.
Oh, really?
I love them. And the thing that's nice is that this plastic is super pliable too.
Is that the same silicone they use for breast implants?
I haven't checked. I don't know. I'm Greek. I don't have those problems.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
But this one, but it's nice if you're doing like whipped cream out of a bowl or something. It's going to give you like really clean edges, and it's going to. I don't know. I like the flexibility of it. Some spatulas you'll find are really, they're not pliable at all, and that just doesn't work at all. So that's a great one to have.
How much is that?
That one is about $15 at Williams-Sonoma.
Right.
Yeah. And so, and a whisk. The whisk too is going to be, I think we talked about this when we did the roux. Certainly one of the problems that happens a lot is that these bits will pull out. So if you have a really heavy duty one that, these are going to stay in place for you, so when you're in the midst of doing a white sauce and you don't want it to burn, it's going to be doing the job you need it to do. So, whisk.
Yep.
And, okay, this is one of my favorite things. This is a microplane.
Yeah,
and so this one is fabulous for Parmesan, like a Parmesan cheese, any hard cheese, hard chocolate, zesting a lemon, that sort of thing. It works amazingly for it. It's super easy to use, and also the edges are not super sharp, so you don't cut yourself.
Yeah, you can do carrots, you can do a lot of things, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Fabulous investment.
Yeah, I love that, yeah.
And the wooden spoon. This has got to be one of my favorite things in the kitchen. Serving, but also it's spankings. You know, you're Greek, you get a little. When you're so facilito, you're gonna get a spanking. That's what the Greeks say. And so now the thing that's great is that it's a soft surface, so it's not going to scrape or hurt your pans if you're using it with a non-stick pan or something. It's not going to hurt the surface of it, so it works with a lot of different surfaces.
So you don't use those plastic things?
No.
Like,
plus they melt too. If you get them into too high of heat, they'll melt, and then you have plastic in your food, and you've just got all kinds of disasters on your hands.
I don't know, you had like a little je ne sais quoi, something like
no,
that.
No? Okay, no.
Okay, all right.
Okay, no. But this one, you can see that I've used it a lot.
Yeah.
So now it's super soft because it's
I can
it's
see where you rest it too.
Yeah. You can see where it got set on the burner.
Yeah.
These are the ones I really use in my kitchen. I like some good tongs. Good for searing a steak, good for frying.
I like some good tongs too.
Good tongs, yep.
Yeah. What?
And let's see, and this one.
Yep, important. More than, go ahead.
I like it. I think straining sauces or soups, that sort of thing.
And no one thinks about it.
No.
And everybody should have that.
Yes.
I mean, if you're kind of serious about cooking, I mean, this is definitely a piece of a tool that you should have.
Yes. You can use like spice balls. I use those a lot as well. But this one works really well when you have kind of a loose bay leaves. You have loose peppercorns, that sort of thing.
Right.
Set it through here, and you're good to go.
Yeah, it's very thin mesh too.
Yes. Yeah, I use it a lot when I'm making like a barbecue sauce. When you have your garlic and things, you don't want that to be chunky when you put it onto your meat.
And you can
so
add
you just run it through. Yes. Yeah. Great. You can use it for frying, deep frying or something. You can whisk it out that way as well.
I like it.
Yeah.
Cool. So far, like a recap, we talk about knives, we talk about boiling pots, we talk about bowls, we talk about frying pans and all that. This is kind of the beginning of what someone should have at least in the kitchen. We're talking about what, like $600, $700?
I think that you can have
altogether?
a really well-functioning kitchen for probably about $400.
Yeah.
I think you can get just all the essentials taken care Not that you can't find more great things to do with your kitchen, and the longer you're working in the kitchen, the more you're going to find the things that you love and use all the time.
Right.
Can't live without. But to me, these are the main ones that I can't live without.
Do you like gadgets?
I do, but I actually find I get really annoyed having to clean them.
Yeah.
And so I actually find that I'll, unless I'm cooking when I really love to use like my KitchenAid, I love it. It's one of my favorite. Again, it was a wedding gift. I love it. I use it all the time, but I really use it the most like during the holidays when I'm cooking. I'm making cookies for days when I want to do a lot at the same time. But if I'm just doing whipped cream, it's going to be a lot of times it's going to be just a whisk and a bowl.
Well, what about because I don't think we were going to talk about it, but how about a cutting board?
Cutting boards, I really like a wooden cutting board. That's probably my favorite one. One of my pet peeves are the glass ones. For one thing, it's like nails on a chalkboard, and like when you're cutting on it, like, drives me crazy. But I like the surface of a wooden cutting board. I think it works really well. I use a plastic one too at home that I like for doing, here, let me grab this one. I use a lot at home because it goes really easily in the dishwasher. So if I'm doing like poultry or green herbs or beets or something where it's going to bleed a lot, a lot of times I'll use my plastic one because then I can just toss it in the dishwasher. It comes out looking pretty good.
So how do you clean the wood one?
Soap and water.
All right.
Yep.
Hot water?
Yep. And never in the dishwasher because it'll ruin your wood surface.
You scrub it?
Nope, I just use sponge.
All right.
Yep.
That's it?
Sponge, soap, water, and then I leave it in the drain board, just kind of.
How about towels? What you use in
Towels are so important. You're going to always get swindled with the cute ones that are on sale for the holidays. I know, girls. I know how it is. But these are the ones you need in your kitchen. They're worthless when it comes to drying. You try to get it off your hands and try and dry the glasses. No. This is what you need, 100% cotton towel.
Right.
These ones are from Williams-Sonoma. You can get a pack of them for about $20. They're kind of like bar maps. Bar mops.
One or two?
A pack is like 5 of them.
Oh, is that right?
There's like 5
for
towels for $20. I think it
cheap.
is.
Okay.
I didn't work for Williams-Sonoma, so I haven't bought them for a while. But these ones I've had for several years. You can see they're stained and starting to fray a little bit. But I love them, and I use them all the time.
Yeah, I like it. I like the feel.
For drying dishes, for cleaning up the kitchen, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's hard to find like a good towels, I think.
It is really hard to find ones and I really like these ones, so I just keep buying them.
Right. Yeah. And to clean, how you clean those?
I just put them in the dishwasher, the washing machine.
The washing machine. But you use bleach or anything like that?
I use some bleach.
You do? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Rolling pin. You wouldn't think this is such a big thing, but this one I love. Okay, I'll be short on this one, but you usually get the ones with the handles on it, right? The problem with those is they rock, and therefore when you're rolling out your pastry, whatever you need to roll out, it's always uneven. You've got the thin sides and the thick sides. It's a total disaster, and you can never get it long enough. This one is really nice and long, and it's completely even in width all the way across. So to me, this is my absolute favorite one for pastry. So if you need one rolling pin, this is the one to get.
That's way too easy. All right, that's nice.
Yep. Immersion blender.
I don't have that.
Okay, so this one is certainly if you want a traditional blender, it works great. This one to me is a little bit more versatile because you can use it for making smoothies. You can use it like right into a jar or something. You can use it directly into your soup pot. It actually will withstand quite a bit of heat. I've had this one for a long time.
Is that pretty powerful?
Yeah, it does a great job. Yeah. And then I will use a bigger version of this one if I want to strain off my soup at the end. So I'll just use this directly into my big sauce pot, and then I'll use a bigger strainer and pour it through. Okay. If I want a really smooth texture to my soup at the end.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. How much is that?
That one is, $20. No, that one would
40.
be a little bit more. Yeah, probably
50.
more like 80.
80? Whoa.
Yeah, if you get a good one.
Okay.
But it'll also last you for 20 years, 15 years.
Yeah, right.
So it's, I think if you're going to
this is what you're kind of talking about, things that will last for a long time.
Yes.
This is some kind of investment at the beginning.
Yes.
Seems very expensive, but you are not next year buying a new set of knives. You're not buying a new set of...
Yep, exactly.
All right, that's cool.
That's a great thing to do.
I like it.
Last thing, a nice sort of casserole dish.
Yeah.
Different sizes. I think 11 by 14. I think 8 by 14 is a pretty traditional size. But I use these all the time for lasagnas, macaroni and cheese.
I don't see Le Creuset French, no?
Le Creuset. I have a lot of.
Oh, you do?
But this one wasn't too expensive. I got it at Home Goods, and I actually like it. It's a nice stoneware.
Yeah.
And
put
so
it
it holds
in the
the
oven?
heat really well. Put it in the oven.
Oven, microwave?
Yep.
You think? Yep.
Freezer, it'll go through it all.
All right, cool.
So let's talk about what you want to have in your kitchen. Some ingredients to have on
you know,
hand.
I love spices. I make my own spices, and I think that's one of the issues that I really have with spices is I think I understand the concept of it. I mean, like, but really to protect that, this, some of the spices I use more often than some others, but spices can be very expensive. And so if you can show me a couple of tricks on how to preserve those and tell me a little bit some of the difference between fresh versus dry.
Okay.
Or that kind of thing, like something that all the stupid questions that everybody has. Can
I show you some of my favorites?
Good.
Okay. So this. I'm bringing my pantry to you today. Here, these are. Whoops, sorry. These are some of the ones that I think are the most distinctly different. And
do you use all those?
I use, yes.
Really?
In fact, my spice cupboard is really large, and it is it's pretty comprehensive. I believe in investing in spices that you can use to create your own rubs, to create your own blends, and so I start with kind of a lot of basic spices and kind of use them as your palette to.
You're like exactly like a painter. Like you have all your gouache or all your colors, and then you pick.
Hey, do spices ever expire?
They can absolutely expire, but probably you won't notice that they have. So that's a really great question, and one of the things that I brought here to show you, and I hope you guys will smell some examples too. So this is one of my absolute favorite ones. This is my grandma's oregano, which I hide from my husband because it's so good.
Your grandma?
Yes.
What do you mean?
It's a Greek oregano, and it's just incredible. The thing you'll notice about it is it has a super light, fluffy texture. And the reason why is because she actually only uses the seed when the oregano is going to seed. She doesn't use the leaf. She uses the seeds. And when she's drying it, and it makes this incredible fluffy light. You have to try this. It's just amazing. That is a secret ingredient that you cannot find.
Oregano.
Yes. And you got it on your nose too. Sorry. I'm getting into the down and dirty here. Okay, now try this one that I bought as an example for like a dried one that you would get.
It smells like almost like a tea.
Yes.
It's different.
Yes. It's almost like you're smelling two completely different seasons.
Oh, it's totally different. I mean, this is like tea.
Right. Okay, so think about something like this. This is a black pepper. And you would think, black pepper is one of the absolutely the most... One of the most common...
Well, I'm smelling.
It's probably like one of the most common spices, right? But then...
Yeah, that's on camera.
And then, okay, now this one is a late harvest burgundy peppercorn.
Late harvest burgundy peppercorn.
Yes. So my candy shop is the spice, what's it called? Whole Spice at Oxbow Market. This is my candy shop. And I found this one here. Now, just the smell of the two different. And then there's, you can get pink peppercorns. There's so many different varieties. And every single one of them, I kind of don't believe in salt and pepper. I believe in getting the pepper that matters and putting it only in when it really makes sense to do that.
That's good.
Yeah. It's totally different than anything you've experienced, right?
Where you get that?
Whole Spice at Oxbow Market. That's where I got it at.
How much is that?
It's actually not too expensive because it's in bulk, and so it's maybe a couple dollars an ounce. So this maybe cost me like $3-4. So not a big difference from just buying your regular peppercorns.
So you're talking about buy it like buy the berries, grains, rather than like already processed.
Yes, I always prefer to get whole spices if I can do that.
So how do you use that? You know, do you have like some kind of like a grinder?
Your coffee grinder works fantastically, or you can use a mortar and pestle, works really well. You can put them in and kind of blend them around. But a lot of times I'll use a spice ball and just put them in whole when I'm making like soups or sauces, and then I can take the spice ball out, and so then I don't have the unpleasant texture of eating a whole peppercorn, but you get all that amazing flavor when you're cooking.
I like that. I'm gonna buy some of that.
It's great.
Yeah.
Okay, how about let me show you two other ones. Okay. This cinnamon.
Yep.
Okay, now smell this cinnamon. This is a Saigon cinnamon.
Oh yeah, that's different.
It's like this one is going to be almost like a metallic.
Yeah, this is a little bit more processed.
Bitter,
you know,
much more processed, almost artificialness to it. And here's one of the reasons. This is a traditional cinnamon stick. This is a true cinnamon. And so this one is going to be super tough of a bark, really, really tough. And it's going to smell more familiar what you think of as cinnamon.
And how you process that?
Right, it's very difficult. Okay, now look how tender this one is. This is a true cinnamon, and it almost smells like Red Hots. And I actually ordered it from Sri Lanka. I'm so excited about this. This is my new thing that I'm just
overnight it.
No, I just ordered it myself.
Do you use your credit card?
Yeah, I use my credit card. But isn't that just the most? It's like a night and day difference, and you would think it would be completely the same sort of thing.
No, it is different, you know, and that there is a sweetness to that too. I mean, that's but how you use it?
Same thing. So this one actually you can blend up in if you have like a coffee grinder and make your own powder out of it. I like this powder quite a bit that I get the Saigon one. I think it has really good flavor, but you can just blend this up, or you can use the cinnamon sticks whole, like if you're adding it to like apple cider or something like that.
Yeah, I don't do that. Well, what about this here?
That's a traditional cinnamon stick that you'll find here. It's actually imitation, but it's the most common one that you'll find in the United States.
Made in America.
It's not made in America, but it's a cheaper version of a cinnamon. And so it's more mass produced, and it's also, I believe, I'm not an expert on this, but this is a kind of an outer bark, so it's much thicker, and it's much, I mean, look, it's almost impossible.
It's woodier.
It's like much more woodsy. And so I could go on and on about spices all day, but
This is awesome. So, all right, so buy your spice, and how do you keep them?
I always use an airtight container. It's the most important thing you can do to preserve your spices. And always put it in a cooler place. You'll probably want to have it close to your stove, so a lot of people put it on top of the stove. It's the hottest place in your kitchen, and so the quality of your spice is going to deteriorate so much faster than if you're going to put it kind of in a side cover and just grab it when you need it. So airtight containers, I love my mason jars. You can see I use them even for like my beans and rices and grains. Also, if you have a bug problem in your house, keeps the bugs out. But also, the most important thing it does is it preserves them and keeps them much fresher.
So you recommend to buy your spice in bulk?
I love to buy them in bulk. If you can find a really great source for it locally, then there's certainly some purveyors that do a fabulous job.
People can ship too now. I mean,
you can buy bulk spices online and send them to you and they'll have a really good quality. If you're local to Napa, you have to stop by, what's it called? Spice, help me out, locals. Whole Spice in Oxbow. I love it, love it, love it.
So I have a question.
Yes.
I don't cook that often. I will once in a while go out and buy a bunch of fresh spices. So for someone like me, do you recommend itty bitty jars and then maybe I bake the jar when I build it up?
You know, if you have them in a cooler place, you can keep them easily for a couple of years. They'll do really well. One of the other reasons why I don't like to buy cheap spices like this one, got it at the 99 cents for a demo of worst case scenario. And one of the reasons why I don't like this is because this This oregano died years ago.
Yeah.
And so there's no more flavor to it. There's no more. And the thing is you can put, if your recipe is going to call for a teaspoon of oregano, if you put a teaspoon of this,
you have nothing.
You have nothing.
Yeah.
And the more you put, because you're trying to get more flavor, all you're going to get is more bitterness, more
Come and check it out.
angriness in your flavors. You're not going to get that same depth and intensity that if you start out with great products to begin with. That's how it's going to really make a difference.
Yes, totally different. Totally different.
So Anna, do you have any suggestions for smaller airtight containers that don't contain like $90 worth of spices?
It's not that bad, I promise. But I use, like they make smaller sizes of mason jars. I use a lot of them that are kind of like a pint size, but they have smaller ones. The most important thing, yeah, like this one here. Like this, Gordon. This one's not too big.
That'll do.
I have all kinds of spices, but I use the big jars for like, this is my cumin because I use it constantly. This is one of my absolute favorite ones to have. But something, there's little pint ones like this that work great too.
How much you spend every 6 months on spices?
I don't spend that much because once you have your collection, they'll last, if you take really good care of them, they'll last you for years. And so you really don't need to.
But the initial investment, I mean, you got to be ready to drop like a couple of $100 at least.
At least I would say a $60-$70. If you started out even with that amount, I think you could start with a really great collection. So, okay, so when do you use fresh versus when do you use dried?
Me, that's a good question. Anytime I want to.
Anytime. Well, good.
Well, I mean, like for stew. Well, I mean, it really depends what I'm cooking. Stew. I like to go fresh, although this is like, kind of, I think sometimes wasting it. But steaks, definitely like dry.
Yeah.
So it really depends. It really depends the type of meat I'm cooking and there is a science behind that.
No, I agree. I use mostly fresh with fresh and dried with something you're cooking for a longer time, like a roasted chicken.
Right.
Something you're going to be cooking for a longer period of time, I'll kind of gravitate towards my dried spices. Certainly there's things like cardamom or turmeric that are difficult to find as a fresh item.
Expensive too.
And that way it's going to be something that you can't really find fresh.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you do like, let's say like, a salad, like fresh tomatoes and a salad and things like that, you use fresh.
Fresh as often as I can use fresh, I use fresh.
But if you're using like something like you're gonna cook the shit out of it, I mean.
Yep. In that case, then you may as well start with something dried that's a good quality.
That's right. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And so here's a really great trick too. This costs about the same to buy either a little plant or to buy it in a little container here. And so they're both going to cost you about $3.50 or so at the store. And with either example, this one's probably going to go bad before you can use all of it unless you're cooking for a crowd. Yeah. This one, if you just plant it, think of it as a long-term investment to this one. Even if you don't have a green thumb, put this in a pot with some dirt. Planted it, and at least you'll get like 4 or 5 uses. Even if you kill it in a couple of months, at least it'll extend the life of it. And then the more you do it, you just have to water them a couple times a week, and you'll have a really fabulous spice garden. Fresh herbs to work with.
Yes. Put it back in,
yeah.
So you'd be like using like a couple of stems, like leaves, and
because if you're cooking, you just need like a little bit for flavor for your sauces or whatever you're doing. You maybe only need this much of it. Right. And so instead of letting the rest of it go bad.
Put it in the fridge or what?
Refrigerator?
What level, like, with the vegetables?
I use like a damp paper towel. I like to wrap it in a damp paper towel.
So you remove it from the box once you open it?
Usually I do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. If you have anything with a really soft stem, like a cilantro or a basil, they like to be in water. So you can even put them, your bouquet of them in a glass of water on your counter.
Can I open it?
If you want to, yeah, of course.
Because I want to see, like, I want to show something here. There is like a big difference on colors too.
A huge difference.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because this is as fresh as it gets. And that is going to make such a big difference in the outcome of whatever you're cooking when you're starting with the freshest ingredients that are available.
That's more flavor than it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep talking about more and more fresh ingredients every single time
Right.
we have a class. So
All right.
this will be a common theme as we go.
That's right. So you use cilantro for what usually?
Cilantro, I use a lot of Mexican cooking, but it's also really fun if you're doing like kind of Vietnamese to mix it with like fresh basil and what am I thinking? Mint. That's a really great, such a vibrant, summery combination. I love.
Cool. Right on.
So
and you can keep this in the kitchen.
You can keep it in the kitchen. Yep, keep it just as
Like,
long as it has sunlight and water.
Sunlight and keep it like a wet.
That's gonna do the trick.
Moist.
Well, you know, I could talk about ingredients all day long, but we're gonna get to those as we go. Okay, so the last thing I have you try is this. Okay, homemade cookies. Okay, so now you think like a cookie
Those
is
are like
a cookie,
Californian
right?
cookies.
Okay,
like,
so this is a Toll House out of a box. Because now I want you to see the difference by just, this is just a basic recipe. Sour crunchy, yeah. It's the same basic recipe. So this is Ghirardelli, it's the recipe on the back of the box. And this is a Toll House, so they're going to be using a kind of a margarine, they're going to be using an egg product, and a lot of preservatives. Okay, now homemade. Of course they were better yesterday out of the oven, but... Leave it to the judges. Which one do you want more of?
You got 20 bucks?
Yeah.
Make a good decision.
No.
Yes.
Come here.
You got to try these. This is it's pretty
Which one is
remarkable.
what? Punch. And we take a pull.
It's
And we take a pull. You know what it is. Come on.
pretty remarkable though, because you would think
No.
something as simple as a cookie would be just a cookie is a cookie is a cookie. Don't be shy. Try them out. So try one
I
of
like
each.
yours.
It's just going to make it buttery and flaky and delicious.
I like yours. That's good. That's very good.
Good. Okay, so always start with great ingredients. And Didi is going to keep eating cookies, and so are the rest of us. So I wanted to take a minute. This is our 6th show, so I wanted to say a huge thank you to you and to Susan for having me on ToutSuite. I love to do this. Join us the next time at ToutSuite.com. You can follow me on Facebook. I'm Backyard Brunch and also on Twitter. And thank you so much for joining us this evening.
That's very good.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so
I mean-
much. Can I invite a very special guest up today?
Okay.
James Darden, can you come up here?
I thought
This is my beautiful husband. And I have to tell you that I have to tell you that ever since day one, this man is by my side every step of the way. He's my biggest support, my biggest cheerleader, and just he's the bread to my butter and the breath to my life.
Yes.
Still the words of Julia Childs. And 3 years ago, he asked me to marry him. So this is our
Yes, I did.
and I saw his birthday. So today I'm gonna start your birthday early. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear James.
Is that me?
Happy birthday to you.
Hey, one more thing. I think we got 30 seconds. I want to thank the ToutSuite family. I want to thank the hashtag Simple Confident family. I want them to come around. I'm asking for a group hug. Can I get a group hug?
Yeah,
Come on in. You over there, come at the bar. Get over here. We're asking for a group hug.
Come on in.
3, 2, 1. And in the count of 3, I need everyone to say with enthusiasm, Simple Confident Cooking. 1, 2, 3. Simple Confident Cooking! There you go. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. You too. Thanks for the cake, honey. I didn't see that coming.
That's good cooking.
A little shock and awe. That was good.
Thank you.
That was